Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios. We talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Z. Clemone, and this is my review for Wednesday Season 2, Part 2. But before we get into that, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Shall I leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Wednesday Part 2, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, overall, I would say Season 2 of Wednesday really found its focus here in the second half. Because if you recall from my part 1 review, is that I was very nervous going into this one because I just felt like we were maybe putting a little too much on our plate. Our hands were getting a little too full with everything that was being presented within the final episode of Season 2. But man, I gotta say, with Season 2, because overall, I think Season 1 is the one I prefer most. I think there was a little bit more focused and a little bit... linear is not the right word, but there was a through line of the storyline that I just felt like there was a little bit more focus, and the story overall was just a little bit tighter within Season 1. While Season 2, here, I mean, the story gets super hyper focused. All of the ideas really get condensed into one. I mean, some things get scattered out, and we handle one situation really within one episode, but, you know, the zombie becomes much more important in this one because, you know, it's Isaac and he turns out to be the big bad of the whole entire season. Because if y'all recall, part 1, I was kind of crapping on that whole story. I was like, I don't know what the zombie storyline's going on. We're going to continue on in part 2. I feel like it kind of ran its course. No, it becomes the most important key element of the whole entire story. Really like that, how Tyler and his mom also come into play too, and that's the escaped convict. Again, everything that was presented at the end of part 1 really becomes a key factor within part 2 that I really did like, that I truly enjoyed when it came to this second half of it. But I would also say, you know, as focused as it got in the second half, I would still say it's a little bit scatterbrained. You know, like Season 1, it was taking your medication, ADHD medication, while Season 2 was pre-taking the medication, and then you took the medication, and then, you know, you got really focused on it. But overall, yeah, again, I really did enjoy the season overall, and especially part 2 in particular. Episode 6 to me, the episode that I will call Freaky Friday, or Freaky Woe Day, I should say, since we have to have woe within the title of every single episode. Because not only was it Wednesday acting like Edith, which, you know, again, like, it's a big culture shock, especially with how it opens. Like, what the hell is happening? Especially with everyone acting like, what happened to Wednesday? Oh my God, she finally actually snapped. It's also the fact that Jenna Ortega herself is playing that way too, because I haven't seen all of her projects, right? I think I've only seen like when she really became mainstream, you know. Season 2, she was kind of like a Wednesday portion of it. Yeah, sure, she smiled, but never to the degree that she does in that episode, right? Scream, again, she's, you know, kind of cynical, kind of what we expect when it comes to Jenna Ortega. X, quiet church mouse, right? You know, smiles every once in a while, but again, not to the degree that we've seen here. I can go on and on and on. Death of a Unicorn, all of those things. Everything that I've seen Jenna Ortega in, it's always been like, you know, serious face, nothing, you know, not too overly happy, right? So to see her like that in this, and you could just tell she was having a ball playing it, or that's how I read it anyway, that she was just having a lot of fun playing Edith. And, you know, Emma Myers as Edith playing Wednesday, they played each other so well. Like, I don't know if it's because we had the whole Season 1 to really understand the mannerisms, to just go, oh, yep, that's Wednesday, and the social cues. But, like, I mean, just by the way they're standing, like, I was just looking at, you know, the other characters, and, like, Agnes, I was like, how do you not know already if you're supposed to be the super fan of Wednesday? How can you not just pinpoint, oh, y'all switched bodies somehow? And then, of course, when we get to Gomez and Mordecai, and she's not picking up on it whatsoever. I will say I did not like that choice that the old principal, I cannot remember her name, from Season 1, being you know, the guardian angel for Wednesday, pretty much, and that she had to be summoned, and Mordecai had to ask her, going like, why are you with my daughter right now? And he goes, well, that's actually not your daughter. That's why Wednesday can't see you right now. Did not like that choice. I think she should have been able to pinpoint, you're not Wednesday. You're not acting like Wednesday. What's going on? Or who are you? And especially when, Edith actually goes in and, she's talking with Lady Gaga's character, which I wonder if that's going to become a bigger player within later seasons, because, you're not going to hire Lady Gaga for as much screen time as she got in this. And then she going wait, why are you here? Why would Wednesday put you up to this? This doesn't seem like something you would agree to, and y'all are fighting. Are you my daughter? I don't know. That whole choice was the only part I didn't like about the episode. But besides that, loved it. I think that was probably my favorite episode of maybe the whole entire show thus far. I have not went back and rewatched season 1, so, recency bias fully implied here. But that Freaky Friday episode, Freaky Woe Day, I should say, was a great episode to me. And I would also say Post 5. Because I said in my part 1 review, and I know I'm going back to my part 1 review a lot, but, it's a whole season now. And, with Netflix shows, you kind of have to use the whole thing together. But I said, you really need to go through all 4 episodes to get fully satisfied with it. And even after episode 4, I was not. I needed episode 5. I will say episode 6 on. If Netflix was to do, week to week, which again, I still think they need to pursue that option. I know what got them to the dance was this whole binge model, and that's just what they're used to. But I think if they want to keep maintaining the flow on when it comes to viewership and staying within the recency buzz and just really building up subscriber count, you need to go to week. And I think episodes 6 and 7, and of course 8, because that was the finale, I felt very satisfied after every episode. I didn't necessarily have the urge not the urge, because I wanted to keep going, right? But if I was to go week to week, I would have been okay, and I would have been satisfied for that week after those episodes, is what I am trying to say, which I think is a testament to the quality of the show overall. Just to say I could have taken a break here is not a criticism whatsoever. It's to go, no, they did very good within the hour they had, and they told the beginning, the middle, and the end, and left me wanting more, but I was okay with waiting a week for it. I mean, yeah, sure, it's always great to be ooh, I want it now. And I did have that with these others, but again, I would have been okay with waiting the week, is what I'm trying to say. As for the storylines, I wasn't the hugest fan of. The whole principle with Steve Buscemi, I feel it was the penultimate episode, right? When we finally gave it focus, and then everything comes to fruition. He's actually really the cult leader this whole entire time. He was using the mom as a ploy this whole entire time, and then that's why he was using the siren. I can't remember her name, and it's all coming to fruition at this gala. We're trying to get Wednesday's grandmother's fortune, and that's what it's going to pay for Nevermore, and it's going to be tanking this whole thing, this whole huge plan, and all that. Again, I think it was a matter of either that should have been the main focus of the whole entire season, of taking him down, or, or again, maybe we wrap that up in part 1, or we just don't do it, because again, it felt like something that needed to be done. It was like in order to get to the final boss of a video game, right? If you're a gamer, and you're playing a game, and I have never really had this happen to me, but I can only imagine this storyline here with Steve Buscemi and the Siren, and that whole penultimate episode, which was a good episode. It's like you're playing a game, and you're about to face the final boss. You have done all of the main storyline levels, but then you get to it. Then you get to the final boss, and it goes, in order to proceed this final boss, you need to finish off all of the side quests and gain ultimate power in order for you to face the final boss. You need to get to a certain amount of points in order to go into this level. That's kind of what the penultimate episode felt like to me. It just felt like a complete side quest. I mean, Isaac, Tyler, and his mom barely had any presence within that episode whatsoever. We were just hyper fixated on this because also within the other 2 episodes, it kind of just gets forgotten about. We talk about it in episode 5 a little bit, because we move her over to Nevermore. He already knew that she was there. And in episode 6, I don't think we talk about it at all. And then it just gets brought back up in episode 7, which granted, it was only a 1 episode break. But, again, it just kind of just gets lost in the ether. Okay, now we're going to bring it back to a focus. And even in part 1, I don't feel like we had that much of a focus on that storyline either, because the mom would just get forgotten about. And again, overall, I think that storyline was really only given true focus to maybe 4 episodes out of the whole entire season. So maybe it was very necessary, but again, I think we could have wrapped it up a little bit quicker to me. But then when we get to the main event, when it is saving Pugsy, and then it turns out Fang is the hand of Isaac, and it turns out that Gomez and Mordecai killed Isaac and buried him where Pugsy found him and brought him back to life. That whole thing there, when we got to that pure focus of it, to me the show just really got up to those other levels. And then Edith going through her journey of, oh, I'm an alpha. Then when she transforms, if she transforms during this full moon, she won't be able to turn back. And then Agnes finding herself within. I did like that within episode 7, that Agnes finally learned that she doesn't need to be exactly like Wednesday. She just needs to be her. I feel like a lot of people are going to relate to that journey quite a bit, because especially, again, in my part 1 review of season 2, I said, we've all been there. We've either been that freshman, or well, not me, because I didn't have upperclassmen when I went. I went to a high school where it was just freshmen and sophomore, so we were kind of, we were all brand new. Essentially, it was the first year the high school was open. But when I got to the upperclassmen, when we finally did have, where we had seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, those freshmen come in and they want to be like, the legacy seniors who established an identity at this high school. And it's like, dude, just be you, man. Like, you're coming along a little too strong here. And I feel like Agnes is a good blueprint for those types of people that do happen during high school, and then they go, man, I remember when I used to be there. I think a lot of people are going to be able to identify with that, and I think she is she's just a good character overall. I like the arc and the journey that she went on. So I did like that within episode 7, but then once we get to episode 8 and everything's going down and Edith has to turn wolf and she stays wolf afterwards, and then that gives a little template for how season 3 is going to go, because as I was going, I was like, man, do I really want to do the school again? Like, what else can we do? The principal's dead again. So now we're going to get a third principal. We're going to be curious about them. Who else can we do? We really going to deal with Tyler again? Because my other thing is with Tyler staying alive, and it looks like he's going to go in and he's going to find more hides. He's going to have a herd of hides. And we'll see how that's going to be coming to play. Maybe this the music teacher is going to be the big bad for season 3. But I was like, man, I've already seen the school twice. I don't necessarily need to see the school again, because especially since a lot of the players are kind of the same. If Tyler's not going to go turn fully face, to use wrestling terms, face good guy, heel bad guy, I don't really care to see Tyler as the heel or the heel henchman that just wreaks havoc until we face the actual final boss within it. Because, season 1, he was the muscle, and then it was going to the therapist, right? And then season 2, he was the muscle again, and then Isaac was truly the bad guy. I don't really care to see that again, so I really want it, because it does look like now we're going to have 2 stories that we're mainly going to focus on. We got the Wednesday story, where she's going to try to bring Edith back to her human form, and if it stays in summer, I do like that, just to give a little fresh scenery. Not that I never want to go to Nevermore back, because I do like the school, I like the world, and I like the other characters that we have. But a change of scenery for one season, and I don't even think I need it for the whole season, maybe for just a couple episodes, and then we get to Nevermore, and the Nevermore case is kind of quick this time. Only 6 episodes as opposed to 8 will be just fine for me. And then, again, just a little quicker change of scenery will be nice for the eyes when we get to season 3. I don't need a whole season at the school again, just because, again, a lot of the plays are just going to be the same. We're going to get a new principal. We have Tyler still running amok, and then other chaos presumes everything else. But like I said, the template is basically the same. So when we ended that, she's going off to find Edith. She's not going home. We're not going to wait for another school year. She's going to find her best friend, and she's going to turn her back to human one way or another. And I do like that quite a bit. Again, I don't need a whole season of that. If we could turn her back like 2 episodes in, and then we have a quick little time jump, or hell, she's been hunting her down for months because she cares for her friend a lot. And then when she does turn it back, it turns out the school year is about to begin again, and then here we go. But yeah, overall, good season. Again, not as good as season 1, but that's not a negative by any means. I still enjoyed the ride that I went on. I think you really did need the whole season to really bring everything together, and that's really my only criticism, not just for this show, but for all Netflix shows, really, is that not every episode really stands alone by itself, and I do feel like you do need that if you want to go from good show to great show. But overall, still a great time with it. I don't regret watching it whatsoever. Again, it might be something I rewatch when it does come back to this time as we head into the fall in October. Hell, maybe I'll rewatch it this October. It's good for that time. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made this far within the review. I do greatly appreciate it. This was a little bit of a long one. And hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give it your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.